Welcome back to Let's Cats. We are here. Well, the trial of Severin Cocorico is underway. He stands accused of the murder of the man known as a Croque Monsieur in cold blood. We are playing Aviary Attorney, and our friend Cocorico is being held captive by the rebels. Madame Beaumont, please explain the details of what happened. Very well. Last night, at the stroke of midnight, 2 gunshots were heard on the Rue des Marmoset. Pierrot alerted us, and we managed to arrive before the police did. On the scene, I saw the man known as the Croque Monsieur, a good friend of ours, lying in a pool of his own blood. Standing over the body, I saw the murderer, Severin Cocorico, still clutching his murder weapon. Am I to understand you did not witness the crime firsthand, madame? Then you only saw the aftermath. Yes, but one of us did happen to see the incident itself. Ma'am Beaumont, I found this here pigeon running around our tunnels. I am no pigeon, monsieur. He's a spy in any case. Let's say I execute him right now. It's alright, he's with me. With you? He's my assistant. He carries my bags and stuff. Falcon, I trust you do not have any other assistants lurking around the corner. No, madame. Then take your lackey out of my sight. Falcon. What is it? I saw someone lurking in the catacombs. I think he was watching us from the shadows. Another rebel. I don't know. But he got spooked when he saw me and he dropped this. What's this? A political pamphlet? Cult pamphlet. Another one? Signed cult guide, and there's another cult guide. Okay. Well, I best be getting back to the patrols then. Not so fast, Pierrot. You witnessed the crime firsthand, did you not? I did, ma'am. Then you can be our first witness. Go stand in the center. Okie dokie. Do I need to say an oath or something? That won't be necessary, we trust you. Just tell us what you saw last night, Pierrot. Okie dokie. I saw it as plain as day. Croque Monsieur was just minding his own business on the Rue des Marmoset, when all of a sudden this here rooster appeared with his gun in hand. Bam! The rooster fired, Croque slumped to the floor. Using the last of his strength, Croque Monsieur drew his own gun, and bam! The Croque fired back. So, to clarify, Cocorico shot first? Yes, ma'am, no question there. What happened next? Well, I knew you guys, Fontaine Remus, ma'am, were only a stone's throw away at the cathedral, so I ran to get your help. We all arrived at the scene of the crime maybe a minute after I left it. And there I saw the dread Croque Monsieur and the murderer Severin Cocorico with my own eyes. Thank you for your report, Pierrot. It's nothing, ma'am. You see, Falcon, Pierrot was not the sharpest knife in the kitchen. True that. But he is honest to a fault. I would trust his word with my own life. I don't doubt the man's honesty, madame. Nonetheless, I would like to cross-examine the witness. Cross-examine? What does that mean? I don't claim to be an expert at law, but that was always my brother's role in the family. But I think cross-examination means Falcon would like to waste our time by asking pointless questions. Actually, it means that I would like to make sure Pierrot's story holds up under scrutiny. I will be asking questions, but only questions that directly relate to the case at hand. Clearly a pointless stalling tactic, madame. Shall we put an end to this trial? No. We will let the bird have his little cross-examination. But I'm warning you, Falcon, don't mess with me. Don't mess with you. If I get the slightest inkling that you are rambling to stall for time, I will end this trial on the spot. Do I make myself clear? Start questioning Cocorico's shoe size or the color of Croque Monsieur's underwear, and I will lose my patience. Yeah, I get it. Oof. Okay, this is a trial for my friend's life. Alright. Oh, I saw it plain as day. It was midnight. You claim you saw the incident plain as day. Yep, plain as day. The crime occurred at night. Pierrot, I'd like to remind you that this crime occurred around midnight, in February, on an overcast, moonless night, in an unlit alley. What's your point? It would have been too dark to see. It would have been dark, so dark that you could not have possibly have correctly identified the people involved. Hey, I swear I saw what I saw. Hold on, Falcon, you slipped up. You say that the alley was unlit, but I distinctly recall there being lanterns over the Rue de Marmoset. Oh, that's right, that's right. We live in La Vie Lumiere. There's a gas lamp on every street. You're right, Madame Beaumont. There are street lanterns over the Rue de Marmoset, but they wouldn't have been any good. Hey, this is what the glass shards are for. Street lamps over the Rue de Marmoset were broken. They're completely non-functional. As proof, I present the glass shards in the line of the alleyway. These shards are originally from the panes of broken lamps. And I've still got the holes on the sole of my shoe. Double proof. Those glass shards could have come from anywhere. You could send one of your underlings to see the broken lamps for themselves if you want. And waste more time? I think not. Sounds like a stalling tactic. Excuse me, Madame. Excuse me, Madame Beaumont. I don't remember where the street lamps were not broken, but I do remember that we had to use a torch to light up a scene. Hey, whose side are you on? Well, I'm just saying, Falcon might be right. It's particularly dark, so it's possible that there weren't any lit street lamps. Are you saying I'm a liar? Are you saying I'm a liar? I thought we were buddies. Stop quibbling, both of you. Maybe the lamps were broken, maybe they weren't. It doesn't matter. I know that Pierrot's testimony is accurate because I, personally, saw the rooster at the crime scene 1 minute after Pierrot did. 1 minute? That's plenty of time for the real murderer to escape and for a passerby to stumble upon the scene, is it not? You must acknowledge that it is a possibility. I acknowledge nothing. There's an inkling of doubt. You know that there is a slight notion that Pierrot may be misremembering what he saw. Don't badger the prosecution, Monsieur Falcon. I wasn't badgering. On to the next witness. Madame Beaumont, do you have anyone in mind? I do. There is someone among us who is something of a gun connoisseur. A man who knows everything there is to know about the craft of the weaponry. Oh, that's me again. Shut up, Pierrot. Get off the stand. Yes, ma'am. I call Fontaine forward. Very well. Now, Fontaine, is it true you are a gun specialist? Well, I hate to brag, but yes, I know about guns. Their mechanics, their beauty. Have you heard about the revolver mechanisms America is developing? Wonderful stuff. Fontaine, let's stick to the guns that were found at the crime scene. Tell us about those. Oh, right. Very well. This is the gun found on Severin Cocorico's person at the time of the arrest. There's a standard issue percussion lock, Chatellero Gendarmerie pistol, 24 centimeter length, 15mm caliber. Lots of police and soldiers carry these dull things. It's a gun that says, I am a reliable man of the law. Sounds like our Cocorico. Does it? Cocorico's always told me that riding crop was a self-defense weapon of choice. It's strange that he had a gun in the first place. Gendarmerie pistol has been added to your evidence. This is the gun found in Croque Monsieur's corpse, clutched tightly in his hands. It's a turnover pistol, double-barreled, ivory handle, 20 centimeter length, 13mm caliber. It's an exquisite and highly customized gun. It's one of a kind. Whoever used this weapon knew their stuff. The Croque Monsieur was a legendary arms dealer. It's no surprise that his personal weapon would be something so flamboyant. But what's really fascinating about the Croque Monsieur's gun is the ammunition. See, the bore of the pistol has been fitted with a set of grooves. So please stop, Fontaine. I didn't call you up to hear you to show off your gun knowledge. Tell us what you uncovered when you examined the Croque Monsieur's bullet wound. Ah, right. Well, a lead bullet was embedded in the middle of the Croque Monsieur's sternum and appeared to have a straight angle of entry. So in other words, the Croque Monsieur was facing his killer when he was shot. That's right. The other interesting point was that the Croque Monsieur's outer clothes were singed. Typically only occurs if a person is close enough to a gunshot to be directly burned by the gun's muzzle flash. How does a person have to be burned? How close does a person have to be burned by a muzzle flash? Less than 3 meters, I'd say. 5 at the very most. Then there's no chance that a rogue sniper on the rooftops. The Croque Monsieur's killer was standing in the Rue de Marmoset themselves. As is plainly evident, only one person was found in the Rue de Marmoset at the time of the incident. Prosecutor Cocorico. Well said, madame. I think you just unequivocally proved this bird's guilt. Not so fast. I'd like to cross-examine the witness. I don't think so. You're overstepping your bounds, Bird. Let the lawyer try, Remus. When he fails, there'll be absolutely no doubt to anyone in the room that Cocorico is nothing but a bloodthirsty murderer. Oof. Okay, well, he was saying something about the ammunition, so I want to actually hear about that. Fontaine, about the Croque Monsieur's turnover pistol. Tell us about the ammunition. You're about to say something about the gun's ammunition before Madame Beaumont cut you off. Could you give us the details? Oh great, now he'll never stop talking. I'm glad you asked, Falcon. See, as you probably know, most bullets are just small, round lead balls, right? But that's not the case here. This particular weapon uses an advanced iron-tipped, aerodynamic, carefully grooved. Actually, it'd be quicker if I just showed you. Take a look. This is an iron-tipped mini ball. This is a very rare, top-of-the-line technology. Before last night, I had never seen one of these in person before. Like I said before, the Croque-Monsieur was a legendary arms dealer. It only makes sense that he would have access to the latest weaponry. Where did you find this bullet, Fontaine? The turnover pistol's chamber. Minier ball has been added to your evidence. Hold on, I'm confused. I thought the Croque-Monsieur fired his gun, so how is it possible that his gun was still loaded with a bullet? A turnover pistol is double-barreled. This means that it can hold 2 bullets at once, ready to be fired in quick succession. I see. Croque-Monsieur fired 1 bullet, but died before he could fire the second. I trust that you have no more questions about this matter, Falcon. We've wasted enough time already. Where's the other bullet? Not yet. Where's the other bullet? What other bullet? The fired Minier ball. There were two shots that night, remember? One from the assailant, one from the crocodile. I scored the scene for a couple of minutes, but I couldn't find it. It's a pity. It would have been great to find two of these magnificent bullets. Madame Beaumont, did anyone find the fired Minier ball from Cocorico's body? In his body? Are you asking if Cocorico was wounded by the bullet? No, that much is plain to see. So I must ask, where is the fired Minier ball? Well, I don't have a clue. What are you trying to get at, Falcon? Isn't it obvious? The bullet wasn't embedded in the alleyway wall, and it wasn't embedded in Cocorico. That means... So... It wouldn't have, because then it would have landed. If it hit the murderer... The bullet hit the murderer. The real murderer must still be embedded in whoever attacked the Croque-Monsieur. A ludicrous notion. Makes perfect sense. Double-barreled turnover gun, the missing bullet. Fine, I'll humor you. Let's say that this bullet did indeed hit the real perpetrator. What of it? Well, it's only been a few hours since the shooting. Presumably the person will still have the bullet lodged in them. Find the person with the unique iron Minier ball embedded in them, and you find the real murderer. That's reasonable, but we don't have the time nor resources to search every citizen of Paris to uncover an uninjured gunman. You don't have to search everyone in Paris. I believe the murderer to be someone in this very room. Oh, you think we have a traitor in our ranks? I do. This was obviously a planned attack. Someone invited Cocorico and the Croque-Monsieur to the same place at the same time in order to create a setup. Only someone with the rebels' connections can engineer such an event. This is ridiculous. Are you really saying that someone in this room was shot last night? That's clearly untrue. A bullet wound can be concealed, perhaps if you were all to take off your shirts. No, I'm not having everyone in the room stripped down to their knickers just to cater to your outrageous theory. If you can't think of a more reasonable way to prove your stray bullet theory, then we end this damn trial here and now. A more reasonable way? I have a more reasonable way. What are you thinking, Falcon? Isn't it obvious? We have the perfect way to uncover whether someone has been shot. It's a genius solution. We have this thing, the Explorer Extractor. Are you serious, Falcon? You're relying on the invention of a lunatic? I've never been more serious. Well, excuse me. Madame Beaumont, Frere Ramus, and the members of the court, this device is called an Explorer Extractor. It's the latest medical technology. It looks like a children's toy. I assure you, this is no toy. It was designed to find and extract metal embedded in bodies. A battlefield bullet finder and remover, if you will. I'm intrigued. So you're saying that you just swing that device around and it finds a bullet in a person? Yes, sort of. I don't know, we haven't had the chance to practice with it really. Madame, these birds are playing you for a fool. There's no way that device exists. We have seen this device work with our own eyes. Spoution shall demonstrate. Me? Although we will need something to demonstrate it on. The Minier ball. Here we have an iron-tipped Minier ball, as presented by Fontaine moments ago. Observe, I placed the bullet in my closed fist, it now represents the fired bullet that is currently embedded in the murderer's body. Allegedly. Now Sparrowson will determine what happens when my hand is scanned with the Explorer Extractor device. So I just do this and... it's humming and buzzing. Is it really detecting that bullet? Absolutely. What an intriguing device. Hey, what would happen if I were to hit extract right now? Please don't. You remember what? Please don't. You remember what happened to that steak, right? My, what's this feeling? It feels like... Howard! Don't let it get to your head. Okay, I'm convinced. Falcon Sparrowson, you may perform a cursory scan of each of us with that device of yours. You must stop humoring these morons, madame. What good is this doing us? Remus, they may be morons, but this test will grant us certainty of the rooster's fate. I can afford that time. Hey Falcon, what will happen if the murderer is someone not present in this room? Most likely isn't. What? I'm stalling. Falcon. Get a move on, you two. I must really express my displeasure that you are going along with this farce, Madame Beaumont. Let us end this trial right here, right now. You can get the justice you so crave. You're very, very... Don't worry, Remus. My patience for this bird brain is wearing thin too. When this asinine scheme of his fails, he will face the consequences. Lucky Bird, scan the rooster first. He's the prime suspect after all. Okay. Okay. I'm not getting any reaction. That means there's probably no bullet lodged in Cocorico. So, he's innocent for sure. No, all it means is this bird was not shot by the hypothetical bullet. Don't forget this is all speculation on Falcon's part. Madame, I must insist that you end this. It's a fool's errand. We have other matters to attend to. Remus, you let me worry about our time management. Piero, you go next. Alright, get it over with. No reaction. That means Piero wasn't shot either. No surprises there, right guys? Let's see, next we shall test... Madame, I implore you. You're being awfully lippy, Remus. Why don't you go next? Me? That is really not necessary, madam. I don't want to participate in this ridiculous child's game. There's no game. I am issuing you an order to cooperate. I refuse. Piero, please restrain Remus. With pleasure, ma'am. With pleasure. What are you doing? Keep your filthy talons off me. I will not be manhandled by... Ow, stop that. You're making a mistake. Madame, think a little harder. I have an alibi. I was with you the whole evening. Sparrowson, do the test. Falcon? I'm not getting any reaction. That can't be right. Do it again. There's nothing. Frere Remus has not been shot, as far as this device can tell. The utter nerve to handle a man of the cloth like that. As I sat on the floor, madame, I was with you and Fontaine the entire evening. I could not possibly be in two places at once. It's true. You were sitting in my line of sight exactly when the murder was supposed to have taken place. As was I. Right. Fontaine was sitting with us too, so that rules him out. And I know that I didn't perform the murder, obviously. Which means every suspect has been accounted for. Go sit down, lackey. Your job is done. You realize what this means, don't you, Falcon? Your little test failed. Your hypothetical bullet theory turned out to be an unsubstantiated speculation. Pure guesswork. Shall we end the trial, madame? Wait, there must be someone we're not accounting for. I just know it. There's someone else who could have been the shooter. Where is he? Here he is. Judge Romulus, the twin. Frere Remus, how is your brother, the man named Romulus? My brother, he was forced to flee the country by our oppressive government. You and I know that isn't true. Your brother's still in France. In fact, I think he's lurking in these very catacombs right now. An absurd notion. Your theories are getting more and more outlandish, Falcon. Where's your evidence? Oh, I know. I can answer this one. This. I found this in the catacomb tunnel. An introductory guide to the cult of reason. Thank you, Sparrowson. Now, Frere Remus, does this pamphlet look familiar to you? No, I've never seen it before in my life. Are you sure? Are you sure it doesn't belong to your brother Romulus? No, there are many cultists in Paris. Maybe it belongs to one of them. Falcon, I'll take your word that your lackey found this pamphlet in the catacombs. But Remus is right. You have no evidence that the man known as Romulus is the one who dropped it. This pamphlet could have been dropped by anyone. Could have even been dragged in on the sole of Pierrot's shoe for all I know. Wouldn't be the first time. Actually, madame, I know for a fact that the pamphlet... I know for a fact that that pamphlet belonged to Romulus, and I can prove it. Because I have his other one. A little while ago, while visiting the Louvre, I saw a man who looked very much like Romulus handing out pamphlets. As you can see, the pamphlet from the Louvre is identical to the pamphlet from the catacombs, except for one important detail. Romulus signed the Louvre pamphlet himself. No way, my brother wouldn't do something so foolish. Do you see, right here on the cover page, that's Romulus' signature. I admire your tenacity, Falcon, but something is blatantly wrong with your evidence. We know that the brother of Frere Remus is named Romulus, but this Louvre pamphlet of yours is signed Silvius. Clearly an alias. Romulus is on the run from the police, so he must have changed his identity. That's a plausible theory, but it's unsubstantiated. How do we know that this pamphlet was signed by Remus's brother? The pen. This fountain pen. Hey, where did you get that? Is it my brother's or mine? Wow, Remus, your mouth is almost as big as Romulus's. Anyway, I believe it's yours. Sparrowson happened to find this pen in your robes a few days ago. You mean he stole it? Let's not argue over semantics. What's more important, and what you just admitted, is that you and your brother both own pens just like this one. See, these pens are unique in that they contain green ink, a very unusual choice of ink color. A very evil choice, too. Well, yes, but more importantly, it's the same ink that was used on this signed pamphlet. Since there are only two pens, there are only two possibilities. Either Frere Remus has been signing off an atheist cultist propaganda. I would never do such a thing. Or his brother has been using his identical pen to sign cultist propaganda, the same type that was found in these catacombs. Impossible, my clumsy old brother lost his pen a week ago. Oh, so then the only explanation is that you lent him your own. No, you see, it doesn't matter how you cut it, Friar. One way or another, you and your brother are tied to the cultist pamphlet. Admit it, confess. Falcon, enough. You made your point. You are asserting that the Friar's pen ties him to the cultist pamphlet. I get it. This is all tenuous, what do you say, madame? No question, Falcon has suggested a theory that hinges upon a theory that hinges upon yet another theory. It's not hard proof by any measure. He may very well be wrong, but he's at least logical. His theory is self-consistent. What are you saying, madame? Falcon, where did you say you found this leaflet? The unsigned one, that is. Oh, down the catacombs tunnel. Through the fork and on the left-hand side. Fontaine, Pierrot, go see if you can find anyone dawdling where they shouldn't be. Yes, madame. Yes, madame. Yes, ma'am. In a moment, one of two things will happen. Either Pierrot and Fontaine will return empty-handed, in which case I'll have no choice but to execute Cocorico. And then I would have to execute you, Falcon, and you, Sparrowson. Us? Not because of what you've seen tonight, although admittedly that's a problem, but because your lies would be treasonous to our new republic. I didn't sign up for this. Or Pierrot and Fontaine will return with a prisoner in tow, in which case we would be free to cut Cocorico down and skedaddle? Surely not, madame. You're not going to let these three walk free after everything that's happened here. Remember what this rooster did to your father? Hold your tongue, Friar. If it turns you've been deceiving me all this time. Mambo Moore, look who we found! Ow, ow, stop shoving me, I can walk myself. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, we really do have a ghost in the catacombs. Introduce yourself, Wolf. Very well, mademoiselle. My name... Madame. Right, madame, whatever. My name is Silvius. Do you mean Romulus? Your alias isn't fooling anyone, Your Honor. Alright. I am Romulus, twin brother of Remus, and loyal servant to the rebel cause. That's the whole truth. He's telling the truth, madame. Long live the Second Republic, right guys? I have a lot of questions, both for you, Romulus, and for you, Remus. I don't appreciate being lied to. Seems you have your hands full, so we will just be taking our leave. Not so fast, Falcon. Your theory is still unproven. If it turns out that Romulus has no bullet in him, then you will have no evidence that implicates him of the Croque Monsieur's murder. Cocorico will still be the prime suspect. Bullet and me? What are you guys on about? Spare me. Fontaine, hold him down. Hold me down? Ow, 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 ow. Sprouson, do your test. I'm on it. It's buzzing. It's really buzzing around his shoulder. I see blood. There's definitely a bullet wound there. That's an old bullet, an old war wound. I got it fighting in Algeria in '36. Obviously a desperate lie. My brother's being completely honest, man. Madame, he's a veteran. He was shot in battle. You know I could just extract the bullet right here, right now. That would remove all doubt. Oh. Oh, I'm gonna be really evil. Extract that sucker, Sprouson. Oh. 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 Wow, sucked it out like a pip from a grapefruit. Hey, look at that. If I'm not mistaken, this is one of them newfangled bullets, right, Fontaine? There's no mistake. That's an iron-tipped Minier ball, just like the one in the Croque Monsieur's gun. Do you realize what this means, madame? Clearly demonstrates that the Romulists confronted Croque Monsieur before Cocorico arrived. It's undeniable evidence that Cocorico had nothing to do with the crocodile's death. You're right. I made a mistake. I haven't forgotten what the rooster did to my father, but this bird clearly had no part in the killing of the Croque Monsieur. Therefore, I cannot honestly call him an enemy of the Second Republic. Your friend is free to go. Fontaine, cut the rooster down. Right away, ma'am. Thank you, madame. For what? For giving us an opportunity to show you what justice looks like. Before you ask what the difference between revenge and justice is between revenge and justice, and I replied rationality. Well, I can see how much effort it must have taken to hold you back your emotions and let rationality dictate your actions. Pierrot and Fontaine will help carry your friend to the tunnel entrance. We're on it, madame. Will you be okay by yourself with the two wolves? These toothless old dogs? I think I'll manage. Of course. Come on, brother, to your feet. So, cultists. Cultists is such a strong word. Listen, mademoiselle. Don't mademoiselle me. I shall be asking the questions here. Tell me, friar, are you a cultist too? Madame, I am just a humble servant of God. Ugh, never realized how poisonous your words are. You've been spewing lies from the very start, haven't you? Madame, at least tell me why you two killed the Croque Monsieur. Because... Allow me, brother. You want to know the truth? We want exactly the same thing as you. We want a world without class, a world without false rulers and gods, a world where only the reason of man reigns. A world of true equality and fairness. That's what you strive for, no? You cannot achieve such a goal without violence. Your methods are too passive, too naive. We set up a situation where you'd be forced into action. Make the government look like murderers to the rebels, and then make the rebels look like murderers to the government. Then you would be forced to take up arms. Another lie. But that was the truth. You claim that you want equality, but you want a world where you stand above everyone else. A world where carnivores reign. You're a rabid animal at heart. You got me. Can you honestly say that you never wanted power for yourself? You're a carnivore too, don't deny it. No, I never wanted power. All I've ever wanted was a world where no child has to grow up without a father. Did you know that Croque Monsieur was something of a family man? He once confided in me that he had 5 children and a late wife. I had no idea. Tell me, Romulus, do you have children? Me? No, Mademoiselle lied. Oh my god. Brother? As for you, friar, get out of here. You aren't going to kill me? I ought to. You are the worst kind of person. A man who will cling to any ideology to claw his way higher. But I know that you weren't the one to pull the trigger on the Croque Monsieur. Maybe there's a slither of goodness left in you. Go. Is this what justice looks like? It's so uncaring. Wow. That was an ending. This was a really long episode, but I hope you see why. I will see you guys next time on Let's Cats. Bye. Wow.